Hello, everyone. Now, I think we are on time or a minute earlier. I do like your background better. I don't know what city is this.
In San
Um,
Francisco.
Oh, it is. I can't
Yeah.
tell. Definitely not LA.
Yeah, definitely not.
It could be a little, maybe like New York, or maybe not. I don't know. How about, well, good morning, everyone. I know people are coming in since we're starting right on time. If you've been here before, feel free to say hello, chit chat with us, introduce yourself. We will kick up every time, I mean, soon. Okay, you have a note. That's still you, right? Okay. Robert, note taker. Okay. So that's not Leo, that's still you, right, Robert? The third person that
No,
joined.
let me change my name.
Oh,
Let me do
that's
that.
I need to do more of those. The note taker.
Yeah, there's definitely me.
Okay. All right. Do you want to put your first slice like on the
Happy
screen?
to.
Okay.
Yes.
Just to make sure it's connected. My internet here, it's a little bit
Wonky?
sloppy today, this morning. I'm in a different
Okay.
location at the office. Usually I'm in the other side, but all right. I know people are still coming in, and we do have a lot to get to. And with respect to people who are here on time, I'm just gonna just do a quick introduction to everybody, and let's keep it going. So again, thank you everyone, and good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Suparni May, and on behalf of Los Angeles Hollywood Business Source Center, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to the kickoff of our four-part AI and Grow with Google for Small Businesses webinar series. Excited to present this series in partnership with the one and only Google Digital Coach, LA Robert Martinez. This series, we actually decided to provide you with a deeper understanding of how AI and Grow with Google that can truly elevate your business, whether your goal is to harness the power of AI, boost your online visibility, attract more website traffic, or increase conversion. This year offer invaluable insight you won't want to miss. Today, we will kick off our first session, Grow Your Business with AI Power Tool by Google. As we all know, AI offer incredible potential to simplify tasks and create new opportunity, yet you may find it daunting. But today, our speaker will show you how Google AI Power Tool can help your business become more efficient, enhance your customer experience, and drive significant growth. Looking ahead, mark your calendar for our upcoming session. Our next session will be on September 10th. We will learn about building a search-friendly site that drive results. On October 8th, we will cover leveraging Google tool to boost your visibility. And we will wrap up this series on November 5th to explore how to increase your sale with Google tool and to promote your products, maximizing sale just in time for the holiday shopping season. So you don't want to miss this series if your online businesses is still expanding. Before we hear from a guest speaker, I just want to briefly highlight the service before I at PACE. As a local nonprofit organization, is certified SBA and a CDFI lender, our core mission is to promote economic growth and expansion across diverse communities in Central and East Los Angeles. We offer a comprehensive range of vital resources for both aspiring and established business owner, everything from accessing to capital, personalized business counseling, essential training and workshop. We also provide crucial support with small business loan. We sometimes offer grant, help you navigating government contract opportunity. I think both of our goal, Robert and I, and our business community, we just want to equip you guys with the resource that you need to truly success. And we are thrilled to have you joining us on this journey. So without further ado, let's meet our guest speaker.
So, Prani, thank you so much for inviting me. Deeply appreciate our relationship, our friendship. I think I've known you now like almost 10 years. I remember we used to walk in downtown LA to the different offices, and just your commitment to small business is unmatched. So thank you so much for allowing me to be part of of your network, your community. And thank you all for joining us today. Very excited today to talk to you guys about how to grow your business with AI-powered tools by Google. This training has been brought to you by Grow with Google. I am your Google coach, Roberto Martinez. I'm very excited to be here with you today. This is your time, so I definitely want to address whatever questions you may have. If you do have questions, just drop them in the chat. I'll stop periodically. If you see me look to the right on my screen, that's because I have the notes section here where I could see your questions. Okay, let's get started. So as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I am your Google coach. I've been doing this for Google for the past 9+ years. I'm going to cover best practices, how to improve your online presence, how to really help you grow and scale, leveraging some of the Google tools available to you to grow your business and to be successful in that. If you have any questions about this presentation or Google questions about Google Business Profile, Google Ads, Google Analytics, we do have a free training session where we do consulting for no cost. We coach you guys for 1 hour every month. So if you'd like to sign up for that session, feel free to drop me an email. More importantly, this is the big one here, guys, and I can't emphasize this enough. If you're using Google tools, really important, if you're using Google tools and you're seeing success, we want to showcase that. We want to broadcast that. We want to tell the world that. Every year we send people to Washington, D.C., and it's our small business summit. And if you get selected, you can represent your business in Washington, D.C. at no cost. We also promote your business through our research and through our Grow with Google program, where we can potentially create videos of your business. We can send a live crew to your location and talk a little bit more about the success that you received based on using Google tools. So very important. If you do have what we got a testimonial that you'd like to share with us, please ping me after the session. I'll love to chat with you. It is incumbent on me to make sure we get the word out of your business. Okay, with that, let's get started. So I'm gonna I'm gonna share. I was gonna share this video, but let me pause here because I think this particular video is not the video I want. It's actually the wrong video. I want to share with you a new video that we have that's a little bit more in line with the new direction that we're doing when it comes to Google tools and Google services. So I want to make sure I get the right video to really address the needs. Okay, I have it here. Google Coach CA powered by. Okay, beautiful. I need to take off my headset because it won't play if I have my headset on. So let me do that. All right. Can you all see my screen?
No, Robert, I don't see your screen.
Okay. How about now?
Okay, it's coming. Yes.
We're very vibrant and colorful people. I wanted to bring that into my beauty brand. Turquoise and your yellows and your reds and your dusk, sunset, sunrise colors. Growing up, Chicana and indigenous culture, tradition was the center of everything that we did and we do still to this day. I'm Cece, and I'm the founder and CEO of Products PD. Now she goes to the gods. When I was 27, I went to cosmetology school, and I was working backstage at New York Fashion Week. I was in the hub of the makeup world, but no one looked like me. I was tired of being unseen. I have daughters who are also indigenous, and I don't ever want them to feel how I felt in that moment. So I started Prado's Beauty in my daughter's nursery. When she would take naps, I would work in there and just start doodling and creating things. But not having a business background, I needed to research and really learn about what I was doing. I started going to the University of Google, as we call it. June of 2019, I launched my website. And then a few years later, I took part in our Grow with Google event. When I first learned about AI, I was like, oh my gosh, like robots are going to take over the world. But this gave me the opportunity to learn about AI, specifically Gemini from Google. I thought this could help my business in a big way. So I use Gemini to learn about things like what SEO is and what keywords are important to my brand specifically. But I also use it for creative, fun stuff. Help me write a social media post using this image. Make it fun and trendy. Oh, how cute. Also, things like packaging ideas. I can take those ideas to my team and say, hey, this is an idea, but I want to tweak it a little bit. Something that would take me all day or even 2 days to do, I can do it, in an hour. It's very helpful for me and my business. Hi, I'm Cece Meadows, and I'm going to be doing a orange minimalistic look. For me, makeup is more than just something that you put on your face. I take this pretty light blue. It allows the world to see you how you want to be seen. Can't forget the lip gloss. I always give credit to my Prados because I love them. To create something that helps someone feel and look beautiful. It's not just an honor for me to be able to do it, but to do it in a way that pays homage and respect to those that came before me. I think that that is a big driver of why Blouse has been successful in this space.
Okay, Cece, what an amazing story. We're going to use her throughout the presentation. As examples to make sure that we humanize how to use AI. We're going to talk a little bit about how Google AI can help you in your small business. So here's the agenda for today. We're going to provide you a quick introduction at a very high level of AI. We're going to show you examples of how you can use AI for your business. And we'll give you resources of how you can use those resources of AI and other AI tools to grow your business and to scale your business. Okay, let's get started. And Vatrina Cox mentioned if you're going to receive access to this, you will receive access to the video through Paste, but we unfortunately cannot share the deck. But you'll have access to the video and the recording of the video post-event so that you can review it. Okay, so let's get started. Any other questions? If you guys want to socialize and definitely network, you're allowed to do that on the chat. Definitely chat with each other. As a matter of fact, I would recommend you all drop in the chat a little bit about your company, where you're located, and what you want to get out of this session. That's going to really help me paint the picture for you of how your business, your company can leverage Google AI to grow their business, specifically some Gemini tools that you have available. Okay, so what is AI? And let's just get to the actual definition. And in a nutshell, it's a computer program that completes cognitive tasks typically associated with human intelligence. That's what AI is. But before we dive deeper into that, let's take a brief look on these tectonic shifts that we've had because of the AI technology and technology as a whole in our business community. So the first big shift happened 25 years ago. And that's search engine came into the stage. Can anyone remember their first search on a search engine? If you guys can, drop it in the chat. I remember my first search. It was King Penguins. I used to love penguins, and that's what I remember typing on the Google search. It's realizing that king penguins, specifically the males, take care of the offspring when the baby is hatched. And so that was my first introduction to search. And what ended up happening is that search changed the way the world connects. And that also led to e-commerce, because now businesses can be online and can be found almost anywhere using e-commerce. And that allowed businesses to sell their products in e-commerce. Next big shift that happened was what? This little device. I don't know if you kids could see this, right? I'm gonna use this little device actually. The Google Pixel or the smartphone, if you will. And that changed how e-commerce accelerated our connectivity, accelerated e-commerce, and accelerated the rise of social media. And social media also accelerated the way we do business. Because if you think about it now, all you really need is this little device. And as you're walking and experiencing day-to-day life and you like that specific shirt, what can you do? You can look at that shirt and buy it online now that you have social media and your mobile device. And when you're scrolling through social media devices and channels, you can identify products or services and buy them directly. So that's how the world has changed in the past 20 plus years. But now, thanks to AI, that is the next big shift. With AI, anything you can imagine, you can create. You can turn text into beautiful imaging, videos, uh, music or audio, and even code. And so you can literally talk to your data to gather insights, to understand how much traffic is coming to my website, how many folks are buying from me in a given day, a given week, and ask it questions, ask that data questions. And that in exchange can accelerate your productivity, and it allows you to interact with your customers in a more natural, helpful way. It really drives home the point of like, how can I provide the value and engage with my prospective customer in a way that's authentic? And so it's extremely important. And we have another question. Oh, let me just make sure there's no any other questions as we're chatting here. And I definitely want you guys to drop in the chat. So we have Pacific Semo IC doing demolition services and like to know how to use AI for marketing and writing proposals. I love that. I appreciate that. Matt, thank you for joining us and thank you for dropping in the chat. Anyone else, feel free to drop in the chat a little bit about yourselves. So that was the next big shift within AI. And I know what's going on for some of us. I know that AI can tackle big issues and small issues. For example, one of the biggest challenges and one of the biggest ways AI can help us is it can help us identify disease earlier. For those of us who have gone to the doctor or have maybe gotten a broken bone or a broken hand or leg or whatnot, the radiology department can use AI to identify what kind of break you had. And it can also identify diseases very quickly using big data. It also helps with preempting fraud that you might experience. So banks use AI to make sure that your banking is safe by using big data and big AI. What's an example of this? Let's say for whatever reason, your bank notices that you're making a deposit or withdraw at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. It might flag that as an example. And it also helps us communicate. Now more than ever, you can learn and communicate in whatever language you wish. You can use translation on Google Meet, and actually when you're talking to the person in a different language, it could translate that language in real time, and you can talk to someone that's speaking Japanese, French, Italian, and you'll see it in English or your native language. But it also helps us with smaller challenges and smaller opportunities, especially when it comes to our free time, right? When we have free time, what do we like to do? We like to go to streaming services. We like to go to YouTube. And so AI uses predictive analytics to recommend shows that we might like based on past shows that we have. So let's take a little bit of a deeper dive and let's see how that actually works. And clearly define the value that they have for you. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, this is great, but I'm worried that there's some concern there. And we completely understand that. What I really want you to walk away with is that you, as a business owner, are not competing with AI. You're competing with businesses who are leveraging and using AI. That's really the competition. So when you're thinking about that, I want you to think about these studies that in 2023, 64% of businesses that was surveyed, this is 2 years ago now, are saying they're already using AI. And of those, 82% they're seeing a positive outcome when they're using and leveraging AI. So the truth is, you're not competing with AI, you're competing against other businesses who are already incorporating AI. Let me pause there and see who's dropped in the chat. We have Embrace Orthodontics. Would like to improve Google Ads. I completely understand that. Definitely, you want to make sure you reach the right customer. And we're going to touch on Google paid ads a little bit later. We also have Julie here, camera creation, photography, creating memorable pictures. I love that. We'll definitely talk about how you can leverage some of these tools that I'm presenting today. Okay, so let's briefly go over some terminology to get a baseline of what AI is, just for a point of reference. The very first one is called machine learning. And it gives computer systems like the machine the ability to learn without explicit programming, so without explicit direction. And instead, it learns from using data. And through that data, it trains the models that it's leveraging to complete complex tasks. So what do I mean by that? Well, it's training whatever model it has to complete complex tasks without you providing a specific code. And so one of those models happens to be a language model. And that language model is trained on text. Think textbooks, PDFs, even social media posts. Once trained, the model uses statistics and mathematics to come up with predictive analytics. And what does that mean? It can start predicting the next word in the phrase. So for example, if I say, and I want you guys to type this in the chat, if I say peanut butter and what's the following word? Peanut butter and what's the next word in that sentence? Super easy. Jelly. Yes. Selena, thank you. Peanut butter and jelly, or fish and chips. So that's how the predictive model is learning. It's consuming all this data, all this text, and it's realizing, oh, if someone wrote fish and the next word is going to be chips, if someone wrote peanut butter and the next word is going to be jelly. And so it's through this language model of consuming and learning that it's able to predict the next phrase, words, or suggestion that you may have as a customer. Now, that's being trained on hundreds, if not thousands, of pieces of context and text. Large language models are being trained by millions and billions of text. And so it is being trained by a lot of content, a lot of information. And they use this information to identify patterns in languages and to translate those into answers that you may have and summarizing questions that you might have and say, okay, well, based on this information that I summarized by reviewing millions and billions of text, I think this is the result. I think this is what they want as a response to the question that they have. And that leads us to our last piece of terminology, which is generative AI. And well, we call it Gen AI, but generative AI learns patterns in relationships generative AI learns patterns and relationships between those patterns and those words and those phrases to allow us to create copy, imaging, video, text, and code. So through this process of learning, through machine learning and large amounts of context, the generative AI tool can now create content for you in those 5 forms in this current moment. So keep in mind, this technology is being developed and changing every day. But as of now, that is how the system, the AI modeling works and how it's learning through these models that we have to create the content. And so that's going to give us the blueprint to understand as we move forward how it's being used. So now let's take this into an example and into practice. Fish and honey. I love that. So let's talk about how AI coexists with us right now. So we already have Google Assistant. And so we have, our phones, we have Google Assistant, we start talking to it, we ask it for questions. Those questions respond to us in real time. We also have recommendations, as we mentioned, the streaming services, YouTube. I love YouTube. I'm a big history junkie. I love Roman history. I love Greek history. So it provides me a ton of recommendations on those. How many of us have experienced that when we're on YouTube? We start seeing one video and all of a sudden it recommends 20 other videos. And we're like, it's the algorithm. Well, actually, it is the AI tool learning your habits and recommending things. The other component might be chat boxes. When we already see that on the website, you can train the chat box. I called it how to train your dragon, how to train your chat box, because the chat box can scrape the text. Remember, we talked about how they learn through text. They could scrape the text on your website, learn from that text, and then respond in real time to questions that your customers have that the answers aren't in your website. So it's already happening. The technology is being developed and it's changing every day. You're already using it in some shape, way, or form. So that's not difficult. Let's talk about how Google AI can help you grow your business. But before I do that, let me pause and see if you guys have any questions. No questions? I'm looking to the right because that's where the chat box is. Okay, no question. So how can AI help you grow your business? That one caveat, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, things are consistently changing within the AI space. And the tools that I present to you are changing every month, every week, every day. So they might not be available or they might have changed the way they work. So I just want to be very clear. Sometimes I present this and 2 weeks later, 2 months later, like, hey, I can't use that tool that you're presenting. Well, it's because AI and the tools that we presented have changed. Okay. Let's talk about CC Meadows and let's use her as an example. You know, she sells beauty products and cosmetics, and she sells those in her New Mexico store. She sells those online on e-commerce sites. She also sells them in department stores. And as she's building her success, she's trying to identify how she can use AI to work smarter, not harder, and to be more productive. So just like she's using AI, we want you to use as a framework for you to use AI. And yes, great question. How could I use AI in air conditioning space? So yes, we're going to use her as a point of reference, and you're going to have examples where you're like, oh, Cece can do that. I can do that as well. And you might be thinking, well, it's beauty and air conditioner. They might not be the same, but there's transferable skill sets here that you can use when it comes to AI. So let's talk about the first piece that you can use, which is Google Business Profile. Now, I've done, I don't know how many workshops with Soprani on Google Business Profile. I want you to press 1 on the chat, and I'll press 1 with you. I'll press 1 if you have your Google Business Profile up and set up already. Press 2 if you do not. All right, Julie, thank you. She's like, I'm here. I did it. I definitely have Google Business Profile. Rogers, if you do not have Google Business Profile, and Gabrielle, if you do not have Google Profile, and Guzman, if you do not have Google Profile, your homework after this session is to create your Google Business Profile. It is the easiest thing to do. And the best part, it's completely free. And so what is a Google Business Profile? Let's just actually give you a definition so that you have a point of reference. And it's a free way to help your business be found on Google Search and Google Maps. And all the information from your business is there located in those two spaces, Google Search and Google Maps. And the beauty is when a prospective customer is searching for air conditioning near me or demo construction company, your profile can potentially pop up. Your information can potentially pop up. Or if you're traveling and you're hungry and you're looking for a restaurant and you listed your restaurant, what happens then? Your restaurant can pop up on Google Maps. And that provides you free traffic, free ways of your prospective customers finding you online and buying your product and using your. So here we have a high-level overview of how your Google Business Profile will work. For those of us who want to set up our Google Profile, just type in Google Business Profile and have a Gmail account, and you could set it up. We could do a whole other workshop later on in the month around how to create Google Business Profile. But for now, for those of us who do have it, we want to use AI to improve our profile. So how do we go about doing that? Well, AI is already running on your Google Business Profile. And so what we can do is it could start filling in your description section of your Google Business Profile or provide recommendations of what you should write based on the information you provided it already. And it will generate the copy for your business profile. And it can even help you write detailed descriptions about your business. Now, as always, you want to make sure you review for accuracy. We want to make sure that the information they're writing down is super accurate. The other thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that as you're learning about this, all the information that it's recommending, it actually is exactly what your business does or says it does. And so AI is already being used for your Google Business Profile, and you can always update it. Now, for those of us here who might be a restaurant, I have a cool new feature. There's a little bonus there for you. You can generate a menu very quickly and very easily. Google AI can generate very quickly a menu of your restaurant, all you need is a photo or a PDF of that menu. And so let's just walk through a step-by-step way how you can set up your menu using Google Business Profile, so that when a prospective customer is looking for your restaurant and finds it and is curious about what do you sell, you have that menu readily available for them to answer any questions. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click within our Google profile, and we're going to click on Edit Menu. We're going to upload our PDF or image within that section. The Google AI tool is going to scan that information and, in essence, scrape that text into a menu, and then you review that menu for accuracy, and then you publish it. That easy. It takes maybe 5 minutes, if that. The longest part is you reviewing the actual PDF of the menu that it generated for you to make sure it's accurate. It's that easy for you to upload your menu on Google Business Profile. Okay, now let's jumpstart and do some market research projects for your business. And we can use CC or we can use your business, but this is where I'm going to turn it over to you guys so that you can leverage the Google tool. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is, if it's not broken, why fix it, right? Google has already incorporated AI into Google search. So how might you or CC find a solution to the problem? How might you start coming up with quick ideas? We can go to Google search and start typing in Google search. I know the technology is 25 years old, but now we have Google Gemini supercharging the Google search engine. And so it revolutionized the way we use Google search. And one of the ways it did that is with AI overviews. So now, instead of just getting links of your answers to your question, it summarizes them in an AI overview, and it hyperlinks the actual pages where it pulled that information from. How many of us have seen that already? I want you to press 5 if you've seen that already. I've seen that a ton, so I'm gonna press 5. Yes, it's like all over the place. Like now it's like, whoa, what's going on? So sometimes it services, sometimes it does not. And so as you ask complex questions, it breaks down those complex questions into different formats for you to be able to answer those questions. And it's becoming more and more available in more languages and more locations across different regions, which is really, really cool. So let's actually try this out right now. I want you to grab you're on your laptop or your desktop. I want you to open up Google, and I want you to type in a search query about your product, your service, or your industry, and see what pops up. So we'll take a few seconds to go about doing this. If you can't think of anything, think about Cece and her beauty company and type something up that potentially Cece might want to know, like what are the latest trends in the beauty industry. For air conditioning, you might want to say, now it's summer, like what are the best-selling air conditioning services, or what are the top 5 air conditioning services? So I want you to try that out and let me know what happens. I'll give you a few seconds to try it out. I'll give you 30 seconds. So how many of us saw the AI overview pop up? Thumbs up if you guys did, thumbs down if you guys didn't. I definitely saw it, so I'm definitely going to put a thumbs up. So hopefully when you try this exercise, yay, thumbs up, I got a thumbs up. So we're seeing AI being supercharged by Google Gemini and helping us synthesize that information. But that's not enough. We want to start helping CC. We want to start helping you come up with creative ideas for your business to be more productive and efficient. And now we dive into Gemini and using Gemini to supercharge your ideas. So what is Gemini? So Gemini, the way you want to think about Gemini, is not one tool. It's like a Swiss Army knife for AI. It's an ecosystem that brings together a multitude of AI models. Remember, we talked about language models and large language models, and it marries those models with Google tools. So like YouTube, Google Sheets, Google Docs, Google Slides. And Google includes APIs and different platforms, and it integrates to Gemini to help developers and business owners become more innovative. So think about it. I think about it like a Swiss Army knife because it could do a lot of things. It could do copy, it could do imaging, it could do video, it could do code, it could do sound or music or audio. But it's like a power grid and that power grid is how it powers all these different tools that are available for you as a business owner. And these tools help you be more efficient and more effective. Okay, hopefully that was clear as day. So what do we want to do? We want to play with Gemini. Let's take this puppy for a drive, right? Like less talking, more chatting with Gemini. So you can open up and go to gemini.google.com, and we can start using it on our smartphones. Hopefully you have Pixel or your iOS phone. You could download the app there, and it's built for some. There's a unique term here called multi-modality. Just a fancy way of saying it could do a lot of things. It could do imaging, video, audio, coding, and sound. And so it just depends on your creativity or what you prompt it or what you ask for it to do. And what it can do is you can also connect Gemini if you're using Google Workspace. You can connect your Google Workspace, your Google Docs, your Google Sheets to Gemini. And so now it could learn from the data that you currently have on your Google Cloud. It could learn and improve the information. It could pull images and it could save it on that document. What's really cool is that in its current state, it has over 20 programming codes that it's coding languages that it's learning from. And so even if you do code, for some of us who don't code, you can start using Gemini to improve your coding. So again, always be careful. Make sure aren't any errors. Everything is factual and everything's accurate. And what's really cool is that it's available now in over 230 countries in 40 languages. So what does that mean for you? Okay, let's get into the weeds here. How many of us have heard of the term prompt engineering? And I'm like leaning in because that's an important term. And it's how we communicate with the AI tool, how we structure our information. And so there's 5 steps here. The first one is the task. And the task is extremely important. It describes what you want the tool to do and using clear, direct information. And you can also, in this section, ask the prompt to be a persona, ask the AI tool to be a persona. And what is that persona? Let's say for those of us, we talked about, we want to run paid ads. Another one talked about Google Ads. Another one talked about how to advertise and create messaging for advertising. What else did we say here? We said run Google Ads, how to write proposals for AI marketing. Okay, so let's use 2 examples here. One of them is like, I want you to be a copywriter for my business. The other prompt might be, I want you to be a Google paid ads specialist that understands how to run paid ads. That's the persona of who you want that generative AI tool to be. In this case, it's Gemini. And then what do we do after that? We give it as much context as possible. And what does that mean? We can upload information. We can tell it to scrape information from our drive. We can upload PDFs. Remember the language model. How does it learn? Through PDFs and through copy and through text. So we might want to give it more context. So that context might be giving it information directly. It might be specifically what you wanted to do. One of the things that one of our folks here from Pacific Semo wanted it to do is write proposals. So I want you to write a proposal for our company. I want you to be very specific about this proposal. I want you to identify the specific client that we're trying to go after. I want you to identify their pain points in this proposal and identify how we are going to solve those 3 pain points. And that's going to be very, very helpful for you. And then you're going to start giving it references. You could upload as well. Here's past proposals that I've created for your point of reference. And that gives it enough context to be able to say, okay, well, we know that Pacific Semo likes writing proposals in this way, in this shape, in this form, with this tone. I have a better understanding now. That's one example. For the paid ads piece, it's exactly the same thing, right? We want you to run, you be a Google paid ads specialist. We run paid ads before. You give it context. We want to go after company homes, not apartments, located in this part of the city, with an income level of X or Y, to use our particular air conditioning service, and you could identify your top three. Here's a reference of our ideal customer persona who we usually go after. Perfect. It has enough context now. Then we click submit. And once we click submit, it provides us a response. We evaluate that response, which is extremely important. This is what we call the human in the loop process. We're the human, we're seeing the response, and then we're evaluating it to see if it's what we wanted, and then we iterate. And iterate is just a fancy word to saying like we improve on that design. I used to have a rapper, a famous rapper that I loved. He's like, what did you do to improve on the design? That's what we want to do. We want to improve on the design. So the iterative process is extremely important. We see how we structure that prompt. We see if it provided us the answer that we wanted. And if it did provide us with the answer that we wanted, great. And if not, maybe we restructure the prompt. Maybe we make the sentences shorter. Maybe we provide different phrasing. Maybe we provide constraints. We're only looking for X type of business. We're only looking for, single family homes, for example. Whatever constraint you have, that's going to help you become more efficient in the context. And that way, the generative AI tool, in this case, Gemini, can provide you with a better response. So we're consistently iterating to get the answer that we're looking for based on who and what we're trying to do. Let me pause there because that was a mouthful. Any questions about this process of writing a prompt? Because I'm going to turn it over to you guys, and I'm going to give you guys an example that I want you to use in real time. We're clear on how to do this now? Pretty straightforward? No questions? No questions, I'll move on to the next phase, which is the fun part. So now we're going to do an exercise. Yes, great, thank you. And we're going to fill in the blank. Okay, so now we're going to put on our thinking caps on. I remember when I was in elementary school, like put on your thinking caps, and we're going to write a prompt for Gemini. And in this scenario, you're going to write this prompt and ask Gemini to help you prepare a sales pitch. So we want to create a persuasive sales pitch. And so what are we going to do? We're going to tell it who we want the prospective Gemini tool to be. We want it to be an experienced salesperson, and we want it to create a persuasive sales pitch for, and then you could enter your product or your service here. And then the pitch will highlight, and then you're going to give it references, right? Benefits and features that make your product or service distinct and unique. And then we're going to address potential objectives, such as you're going to list the reasons they might say no are these 3 reasons. And I need you to provide us a response to that. So let's do that now. Take the time to open up Gemini and fill this salesperson prompt out as if you're asking Gemini to be your sales rep. So use this prompt right now. I'll give you guys 30 seconds to fill it out. And we'll see what kind of responses you guys got. Okay, as you're doing this, how many got a pretty good response? We liked it, we can edit it. How many was like, oh, it's decent? Or how many was like, I love this is great. I want to use it all the time. I want to do a new example. And Mr. Guzman or Mrs. Guzman, yes, we can definitely do workshops in the future. As a matter of fact, for those of us who stayed throughout the whole session, I will do a plug for an in-person training in the future. If you guys are interested in an in-person training, which is a little bit more involved, and it's about an hour and a half. And we have really cool information there. But for now, how many of us did this exercise, got a good response? We feel confident. Okay, we got this. If you guys feel confident, we can try it again for product. How many of us want to go through an example of a product manager, or how many of us are ready to move forward? 1, if you're ready to move forward. 2, if you want to go through another scenario. All right, if everyone feels confident, we'll move on. Okay, seems like everyone's confident. Okay, let's move on to you trying out the prompt yourself and you writing and evaluating it. So I want you to now to play with the Gemini tool, write a prompt, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna give you the framework, right? Task, that includes a persona, context, which is exactly how you want it to be. Context meaning, I want you to create a blog. I want you to create an SEO strategy. I want you to create a go-to-market strategy. I want you to create a email marketing campaign. References, here's examples of past email marketing campaigns. Here's my website for a reference of how we improve our SEO. Evaluate the response and then iterate in that process. I feel like you guys are playing with the prompt now in generative AI tool. I'll give you guys 30 seconds. And if some of us feel stuck in this process, you can even ask Gemini, hey, Gemini, help me write a prompt for my business. And you can prompt it to write prompts for you, which is really cool. Like you can, and like, how do I talk to you? Let me talk to you in your language. Tell me how to write the great prompt. Okay, with that, let's kind of move forward. Now that you have a pretty good foundation, really what we want to drive home is this multimodality. And I keep saying this over and over again. Anything you can imagine, anything you can think of, you can make come true. And you can create anything like audio, video, images, even code now. And so we're launching new tools every day. For those of us who've seen VO3, it is amazing, and it creates videos for you. So it's up to you to really hone in on this skill set and to really create great content and great material to answer any problems or questions you may have as a business owner. All right, let's dive into some fun things like streamlining communications. Now I'm gonna play this, and someone you might know is gonna talk a little about how they used Gemini to improve and Google AI tools to improve their productivity.
I get 1,000 emails a day. And when I saw Smart Reply for the first time, let me just tell you, it was top 20 happy days of my life. Data drives everything. And so for a big company, small company, medium-sized company, you want something that's fully integrated, talks to each other, and learns as it goes. And that's the beauty of Gemini Google Workspace. For the pharmaceutical industry, the two things that were missing were one, transparency, and two, trust. And that's really the overall mission of Cost Plus Drugs. Simplify and transparency and be fair. So you know exactly what you're paying for and why. We were able to create a company that changed the entire pharmaceutical industry. With Google Meet, we can have a real-time conversation with multiple people in multiple countries, and it's translating for us in real time.
안녕하세요. 회의에 참석해 주셔서 감사드립니다.
It just makes it easy for any individual to manage their data life, if you will, and to connect everybody else that you work with, whether it's chat, meet, email. It can learn and save so much time that the whole definition of productivity changes. That's Google Workspace. From my perspective, there are two types of companies, those who are great at AI and everybody else.
So now we have some ideas on some AI tools that are already running to improve productivity and functionality. Just want to showcase a few of them. Smart Compose, as Mark Cuban was mentioning, it kind of predicts. Remember, we talked about machine learning and how it learns. It predicts the next words in your sentences. So it quickly allows you to type out your idea or the sentence that you're doing, helping you streamline messages, emails, copy, what have you. Smart Reply also, let's say you have an email, it'll pop up if you're using Gmail already and Google Workspace, and it says, it provides you recommendations on how you can reply quickly to a prospective email. We also have other features that run on top of Gmail or Google Workspace. One is tabbed inboxes. So it'll start segmenting out your emails, promotions, primary, social, updates, forums. My favorite by far is summary cards. Summary cards tell you if you have an upcoming trip, if you have a hotel, it gives you a snapshot of all the important information. Where you're flying out, what time, airline, or where you booked your hotel, check-in, check-out time, confirmation code. Really useful stuff. And the last one is nudges. I know some of us are swamped for work. We might get nudged and get a little notification on the right-hand side of our email telling us, hey, you haven't responded to this email in 3 or 4 days. You want to follow up? And that keeps those emails top of mind and lets us not have anything slip through the cracks. So all these tools are within Google Workspace, and Google Workspace is the suite of services that Google provides. And the beauty of this is that generative AI is already being used on your tool set. So you have the AI tool embedded into Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Gmail, and a lot more. So if you're interested in that, you could definitely go to workspace.google.com/solutions AI to have a better and more in-depth look at all the different tools. We had some folks talk about Google Paid Ads and how to improve our Google Paid Ads. We have AI running on Google Ads now, and it allows you to improve your copy, provide you recommendations for imaging. It can even write in descriptions. It can write in headlines for you. It can make suggestions for site links. So it literally provides you recommendations and suggestions based on the ad that you're running. So AI is already running it to improve your campaign. And what's really cool is that if you're using C-Max or Performance Max, that particular tool is maximized to drive conversions of your goals. So like what's really cool is it's optimizing using AI to provide you the best conversion possible for your paid ads campaign. And is doing that in real time. And is leveraging all the different channels that Google has. What I mean by channel, well, the assets that Google has for communicating to a large audience, like the display network, the Google Search Network, but also email, YouTube, applications, the App Store. You can run ads across all those different channels to engage prospective customers for your product. And so most companies, especially retail companies who use Performance Max on Google Paid Ads, they're seeing an average increase of about 27% more conversions or value based on this particular tool for Google Ads. And I think it was Matt who was asking me about like, how do I improve my Google Ads? So clear tool. For those of us who have products, we have something called Google Merchant Center. And for those of us who know, we are probably already registered with Google Merchant Center, which allows you to upload all the different products you have and show up on the Google search engine. So what's really cool is if you have existing images, generative AI is already being used to update and improve those images for you. So you can go to g.co/grow/production studio and see how it's improving your specific product. Now, Julie says, thank you. I used 2 different prompts for different areas. Great suggestions. I'm glad to hear that you're using the prompt really well. Okay, so Google Analytics is another tool. Hopefully we're connecting Google Analytics to our website. We have a section within Analytics that's called Insights, and that's generative AI being used there, trying to make sense of the traffic that's coming into your website, why it's coming in, and what you can do about it. And you could spot trends, changes in actions, changes in when the customer comes in and what they're doing when they're landing on your website. So many of these are services at no cost to you, specifically the Google Analytics tool, and using features like analytical intelligence to really get into the weeds of the data and talk to your data, make sense of the data that's coming into your website. All right. We're almost at time. I'm going to do a quick overview and then open it up for Q&A, and then I'll plug in the last thing in this conversation. So a lot of information, but before we go, I'd love to do a quick recap, right? Really important to know that, since the days of Google as a startup, they've been very mindful of how it interacts with the world, making sure that the way it's being used is safe and secure for everyone that uses it around the world. If you want to learn about how AI is being used in Google and how they see its responsibility to the society, you can go to ai.google/responsibility, and they'll give you a great overview on their philosophy around using AI and the idea of being equitable, the idea that AI should be available to every and all persons that want to use that specific tool. Okay, we talked about artificial intelligence, kind of walked through what it is. It's just, a computer program that completes cognitive tasks that is associated with human intelligence. We talked about the terms. We talked about how you can use AI to help your business. We talked about you're not in competition with AI, you're in competition with businesses who are using AI. So we want you to use those tools to save on productivity, to save on costs, to improve productivity, and to drive more sales. We have some free courses. We used to have free courses. Now I think there might be a paywall there through Coursera. So if you want to learn about AI Essentials, you can go to Coursera and look up AI Essentials. You can actually learn how to be a better prompt writer as well. You go to grow.google/prompting, and they'll walk you through how to become a better prompt writer. We also have a ton of certifications here for your businesses if you want to upskill yourself or your workforce. And as always, we have a bunch of stuff on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, Grow with Google, and you'll be able to learn at your own pace. And you could always go to Grow with Google and the google.com website to learn about how to use these tools. Here's a quick snapshot of all the different analytical tools, AI tools that I presented to you guys. You could definitely take a picture, or you can reach out to Soprani, and you could definitely ask me, let me see that recording. I want that recording so I can learn on my own pace. And with that, love to thank y'all. What gets measured gets done. Please let me know how I'm doing here. Definitely love feedback from y'all. And the other thing I really want to mention is that in the near future, in the next 30 days, we're looking to have an in-person training on AI here in LA. And so please reach out to me if you're interested in that. And the second thing is, if you're already using AI, it's so important. If you are already using Google tools and you're seeing productivity, you're seeing increases, we want to hear from you. We want those testimonials. Please reach out to me because we want you to fill out a testimonial and have the opportunity to be broadcast and showcased just like Cece was to the world. So definitely reach out to me if you have used Google tools and are seeing your company benefit from that. We want to hear from you. We want to tell your story and make sure that the whole world knows it. Okay, and I'm gonna drop in the chat my email address just in case you guys do have that. Okay, with that, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate your time. I appreciate your staying with me for the full hour. I'll turn it over to Soprani to take us home.
Well, there's a lot to unpack, definitely. And I think there's a few concerns that this might not be enough to learn in 1 hour. So, like Robert mentioned, the in-person might be helpful as well. So when you're ready, Robert's ready, we can definitely want to be able to help promoting this AI. It's overwhelming, even me learning this a third time. There's still some new stuff coming in, but I think for me, just have to practice and claim your business page at Google for Business. I think that maybe the first step, I think of all the small business locally or the review, people can find you is very important. So I know it takes a full hour. Thank you so much, Robert. I'll definitely help promoting this. People use Google tool to promote their business and they're growing, they succeed. I think that will be accomplished for all of us. So looking forward to that as well. With that, I will send, if you want more information, I can send recorded. Again, Robert mentioned we won't send the deck, but you can definitely watch our recording and reach out to Robert, reach out to us. If you have any additional information, we're not going anywhere. We're still here. AI or not, we still exist. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, our speaker. Great job. Thank you, everyone. See you next time. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.